So we've got a lot of news on Mortal Kombat 11 with the upcoming Ultimate release.
Really? Like what?
All right. So the most important thing other than Rain returning.
Melina.
The second most important thing other than Rain returning.
Melina is definitely more important than Rain, but anyways, continue.
Excuse me. You're supposed to say Rambo after I said the second.
No.
We have, after over a year since release, after their promise and all the advertising pre-release, we can finally look forward to custom variations in Ranked.
What does this mean?
This means that instead of having to follow a competitive variation, a specific variation of their choice, we get to use our characters as we like in ranked mode.
Is this for Combat League?
Yes.
So I don't play Combat League. So you're telling me before this, you could not use your own variation at all?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So
what is the point of Combat League if the whole variation thing is so you can make a character that you're good with.
Right?
And so you're telling me that you
enjoy.
Yeah, and so you're telling me that you've been playing these characters and making your variations and playing them on offline mode, but when you play them online, you can't play with them
pretty
until
much
now?
This is how the game was advertised pre-release. They said, it's all about customization. You can make your character look the way you want him to or her to. You can make them play the way you want them to. We didn't have any of that until, still not even now, a week from now.
Okay, so all of a sudden, this tweet from our previous Realmcast guest, James Fink from the On Blast show, makes a lot more sense. He had tweeted out, so Mortal Kombat 11 scene, all excited for a feature, which should have been done day one. Nerds and sheep. But that's so true. This should have already been out and everybody's really excited about it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea this was the feature that he was referring to. I didn't know that you couldn't use custom variations online. Like, that's ridiculous.
All the times that we've spoken and you asked me my reasons of hating Combat League, one of the things I hated was that I was forced to play a character the way I didn't want to play them. So
right, yeah.
Fujin, for example, I had to use the variations that they gave us rather than playing him how I wanted to. I was lucky with Shang Tsung because they specifically made a variation with all 4 ninja moves in them. But Noob Saibot, Scarlet, Frost, I couldn't play them the way I wanted to until now.
Yeah, you should be excited for this.
I am, but I'm also... I'm excited, but I'm not forgetting the fact that they advertised the game as having custom variations, as it all being about customization from the start. That was one of their biggest selling points.
Well, that's also like the whole... crossplay thing, which didn't come out until months after the game was released, even though it was something that we were told we'd have. Yeah. And even today, we still don't have full crossplay because there's still the PC and the Switch gamers, which aren't included on it. Yeah.
Which is another bit of the update that we wanted to share today. So NRS have officially stated that crossplay is coming, but only between PS4, PS5, and the Xbox and the new Xbox.
Didn't crossplay already exist for PS4 and the previous Xbox?
That's the thing that I'm quite confused about, because I know it did. Maybe it was in a beta mode or something, I'm not sure. But I know it worked. I've been playing friends who are on Xbox while I was on PlayStation.
So yeah, I think this new crossplay announcement is just letting us know that the new generation of systems will work with their crossplay platform.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I think so too. But at the same time, it's so weird to see how they're just sort of slapping Switch and PC users in the face again.
Yeah. Well, Switch always gets the backhand, but PC players.
No. PC players get something much worse than that. I can honestly say that as having been a PC player for MKX, and that was when I decided I would never buy another Mortal Kombat game on PC until it went on a crazy sale.
Yeah, PC release of Mortal Kombat X was so horrible that didn't they hire in another company to come in and remake it?
Yes, they did. And not only that, they made the decision to not give the PC players Combat Pack 2 until, a year 2 after release? after
Yeah.
its release, not the game's release. That sucks, because that combat pack pretty much contained most of who became my mains.
And, a lot of people will say, well, it's PC. PC gamers doesn't count. It's console games is where it's at. But, I mean, PC gaming has led to a lot of the content that we see on the internet, like as far as modifications, even the hacks and the data mining that we've seen have come because of the PC.
I would go so far as to argue that because of PC, Mortal Kombat was kept alive in the years between MK9 and MKX, and even between MKX and MK11, because a lot of people still until they took the servers down, played MK9 on PC. And during that sort of period where between MK9 being on PlayStation 3, for example, and MKX coming out on PlayStation 4, there was nothing you could really do because the PlayStation 3 was sort of becoming obsolete at that point in time. So what did the MK fans do? They played MK9 on PC. Obviously, after a lot of patches, because initially, again, Mortal Kombat 9 was crap on release on PC. They fixed it up, and then MK9 became the sort of standard on PC for Mortal Kombat as compared to PlayStation 3. I still have my PlayStation 3, and I prefer to play Mortal Kombat 9 on my PC than on my PlayStation 3.
What, you don't like Kratos or something?
I like Kratos, but guests. And I mean, just in terms of the fact that it felt a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
It was easier to play on the PC,
I agree.
It's weird to see them, well, it's weird, but also not weird to see how they're sticking it to the PC players. It's kind of insulting in a way. I'm glad I didn't get it on PC.
I think it's just because day one sales are always lower on PC, but they make up for it in the long run.
Yeah, but it's just weird because they're still your consumers. They're still your customers.
Yeah,
they're still your fans. Treat them as such. But let's get on to some positives. On top of the custom variations, which I'm very excited for because I've mentioned that Rain, for example, apparently doesn't have his lightning move in his main sort of abilities. So the lightning is going in on one of my variations for like 100%,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'll get to play Rain as I want to play him. I'm very happy it's coming with this update of all times outside of release, and I'm very excited to see how everybody makes their characters, plays the character they want to. What I'm worried about is that people will just go for optimal usage, which you really will see, considering the whole fighting game community seems to care more about winning than they do about, enjoying the game. Guys, prove me wrong, please. I really want to say something nice on that. I just wish we'd play for fun rather than just winning. But it is still nice to see that people will, get to play how they want to play them. And then on top of that, we'll actually get more exciting matches. I've been seeing now all the streamers, for example, are playing more casuals than they are competitive Combat League. And it's so much more exciting. You get to see variations you've never seen. You get to see moves that I forgot existed. I forgot that Scorpion could throw fire in Mortal Kombat 11.
I did too.
Right? Yeah. So it's so nice to see this sort of stuff. And I'm really, really hyped to just see how Mortal Kombat's community embraces this change. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be unbalanced, blah, blah, blah. Good. Yeah. For now, good. Because until now, it's been unbalanced in a way where certain characters are overpowered compared to others, where you have the carry characters. Now, you've got everybody being unbalanced in some way, and obviously NRS will balance stuff out. They've already said that certain moves will not be able to be chosen for the customization, like Terminator's armor move, I think. Stuff like that. So that's good. They've got that in mind. I'm very excited.
Do you know what I say to that whole unbalanced argument?
Tell me.
Play better.
Okay, guys, we need to see Fantim play.
Hey, I got trophies.
From which era?
The original 2D era.
There we go. No, I get what you're saying. Like, firstly, it's a game, as long as at this point we're having fun with it. And I think that the custom variations are going to add a lot of fun. Even if it's unbalanced, at least everyone will be unbalanced. And it's not a thing where it's like, oh, this character is so much stronger than this one and I have to change, blah, 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 or I have to change to this variation to enjoy Fujin or something. Like, I've been forced to play either variation 1 or 2 if I want to play Fujin to a sort of for lack of a better word, optimal degree.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'll be able to just completely play him how I like to at this point, although I'm pretty sure Rain is going to be my only played character from this point anyway. But on top of that, we've also had a couple of nerfs, which is very good to see. Throws have been nerfed. So
really?
Instead of doing a whole 14% damage, guess how much they do now?
10?
13.
Oh, wow. Huge change.
It doesn't seem like a huge change, but honestly, it kind of is. It's good to see them do this sort of like small incremental change rather than going all out with the 10% as you suggested just now. I probably would have gone for 12 maybe, but 13 makes sense. It will add up, or the other way around, really. But you get what I mean. One of my biggest complaints about Mortal Kombat 11's gameplay was that I called it poke combat. Have you watched any footage of like players in Combat League or anything, or just tournaments?
I've been to a few tournaments.
Have you noticed the pokes?
No, what do you mean?
Okay, so you have down ones, down threes, down fours occasionally. What you'll do, if you fail a combo, if they're blocking, the first thing you do is you poke them. Down one, down three, whatever's the fastest thing. And that will pretty much give you the advantage if they don't block it. And then it becomes a sort of poke war. And it's just so boring and so lame. Honestly, it's like, oh, wow, I can do all these moves. Nope. Poke, poke, poke. And I'm literally doing it. Like I'm acting it out as I say this. Poke, poke, poke. It's so stupid. It's like, wow, we have all these possibilities of combat, and all I see my opponents doing are just down one-ing me over and over. And all I can do is block and do the same in return until one of us gets the advantage. And so they've nerfed them. They've apparently changed the pushback, I think it was, as well as maybe some startup frames, if I remember correctly.
How does that work now then?
It will apparently push one of you away.
Oh, so you can't just do a series of pokes?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Apparently, if I understood correctly. But on top of that, if I remember correctly, the startup frames are going to be lengthened. So it will take longer to get a poke out, meaning we'll have less opportunities for pokes.
Well, I mean, I like the idea of, if you poke somebody, then it separates the two of you. But removing a poke completely, that gives the person who just wants to stand there and block the whole time more of an advantage.
But it doesn't. Because the pokes were overpowered as it was, in my opinion. Now they've been sort of balanced, so they're still viable to an extent. But then on top of that, if somebody's blocking in Mortal Kombat, you grab them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? So that, I mean, in my opinion, those are great changes. Another very good change is, I don't know if you noticed the animation change in the wake ups on the reveal trailer for, I think it was Rain.
I've heard about it.
I think, but I've watched that trailer about 3,000 times. So you've heard about it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so in that trailer, it's Sindel. See, I told you. It's Sindel getting up slowly. So you've always been able to hold L2 when you're on the ground, and your character will just sort of stay there for longer rather than getting up immediately. And that sort of throws off your opponent. But the problem is, it was as long as you held L2 with a cap. Now, it's a universal change with an animation. So your opponent knows that you're going to get up slowly.
Yeah, so you can see
and
it.
They'll know exactly how long it takes. Yes,
right.
So you can see it.
That's cool.
One thing that we always complain about, which sadly they've not just removed them from the game completely yet, but changes to fatal blows.
Are they quicker? Or wait, you're going to tell me that they've extended out an extra 30 minutes, aren't you?
Pretty much, yeah. So they've added another...
No, what?
No, I'm joking. Okay, no. So they have less pushback on block, meaning they are easier to punish now.
Okay.
So if, say, Scorpion went to fatal blow you and you blocked it, he pushed you back so far that it was difficult to actually punish him for failing it. And so it was very safe. Now, it'll push you back less, meaning you can grab him, you can start a combo, whatever, So you actually do get punished for trying that last gasp fatal blow.
That reminds me more of Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X's fatal blows or their X-ray moves.
The X-rays, yeah. It's better. It's definitely better.
Yeah, I think that's good.
They've also expanded the window to flawless block all fatal blows, as well as other moves.
What do you mean?
All right, so do you know what a flawless block is?
No.
Okay, so for those of you who don't get too into the mechanics of the game, and Fantim, a flawless block is when you block right at the last second. And what that does is it means you take no chip damage, where normally you would take chip damage from blocking an attack. You don't take it here. And on top of that, you can spend a bar to actually follow up attack. So you could use that to stop them and just do a quick follow-up attack, or you can actually pop them up, leading to a combo. Now, by expanding the window to flawless block fatal blows, it means that you have a greater chance of actually punishing, again, fatal blows. So this is actually a very good change, although it's mostly going to affect high-level competitive play, I would say.
Yeah.
Mid to high level.
Right.
But it's still good. And this change is actually happening with certain other moves, and we don't know all the moves yet, but we'll get the info in the patch notes just before launch. But we have heard about some character balances, including my favorite Jackie and Raiden. Certain moves have been adjusted. As far as I know, Jackie was slightly nerfed in a way that actually balances her. And Raiden, I can't remember exactly, but I think one of his moves was buffed. I'm not 100% sure though. This sort of stuff I heard on the Combat Cast, and it's been a while since. But it's good to know that this character balance is coming, and there's apparently a lot on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Some big news on top of all this is a sort of schedule. Remember we were talking about roadmaps?
Yeah, no, I don't believe this. Okay. Keep going.
Okay, it's not as great as I'm making it sound, but it's something. So on one of the combat casts, it was Melina's combat cast, because I did not watch Rambo's. We were told that November 18th, we would be getting new crypt events with bigger bundles of rewards.
Mm-hmm.
What that means, we don't know specifically. I'm taking it as either new gear or Combat League stuff that we've missed out on in the past. So that'll be starting from November 18th, the day after Ultimate drops. November 24th, this is for every Melina fan out there, you might want to listen to this. We will be having a race against time. For those of you who don't know what that is, when you do the Towers of Time, if you do a certain number of towers, you can possibly make the top whatever percentile. If you make the top 5%, you will earn Melina's UMK3 skin and mask.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So they're basically telling us some of the upcoming events that they have.
Exactly. And here is one of the biggest sort of events, which I'm very curious to hear how you take. December 29th, they will start repeating Combat League seasons.
Oh, so you got a chance to get that skin after all.
Say if you missed now on one of the Saurian skins. Mm-hmm. So for example, I did not bother getting the demigod for Kung Lao's. I really did not care. I got everyone else's. But now I will apparently have a chance at Kung Lao, because not only are they repeating it, they are reordering the skin order, as well as adding new gears and brutality, as well as other items, etc.
Okay, now that reordering the skin order, that is something that is really cool, because
yes,
as we talked about in previous episodes, the skin order is the hardest part about it, because you might want a skin that is demigod, and you're not going to get that unless you play better than every person who disconnects on you.
Yes, exactly. So that is definitely a good change. However, I mean, on one hand, it is positive. On the other, there are so many people who just don't like Combat League, guys. Stop making people play it.
Do you think we're ever going to get to a point where they're just selling the skins?
Yes.
I do too.
I do, yeah. It'll probably be like a final edition.
Yeah, or we're just going to get them all for free.
Possibly. I mean, I wouldn't even be mad, because obviously I've had the skins and gear all this time. You know, I had a sort of head start on all of it. I just really wish I didn't have to play Combat League to get them. It's not fun, although the custom variations will definitely change that up slightly for me. Yeah. But it's just now I'm still going to have to do it anyway, because there's going to be new gear and brutalities. Why am I being forced to play this freaking mode, which I hate, just to get certain things which should be in the game?
Because you're so vain that you care about how your character looks.
Brutalities.
In a video game.
Brutalities.
You're one of those people who buys all those Xbox dollars just to dress their avatar.
I am not. No, but I mean, even ignoring the gear and the skins, brutalities are important. They're integral to the game.
Yeah. Oh, the brutalities are one of the best parts of Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, and you don't have access to a lot of those because you don't play Combat League, and that sucks.
I do combos, and that's good enough.
But, you know, it's just like you have the Towers of Time. That's supposed to be the point of how to get gear, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a bit annoyed about that. It, on one hand, again, it could be taken as, all right, it's a bit lazy. They're just repeating seasons. But on the other, I'm just very glad that I won't have to bother with certain seasons to as much an extent as I did in the past. Mm-hmm. One thing that does concern me is if they do start giving us new Combat League seasons and Rain gets a skin, you can tell they're going to put him in the demigod slot.
Which of the ninjas had a Edenian skin?
I think that was Sub-Zero.
So I'm going to get the Sub-Zero Edenian skin, and then I'm going to rename my character to Rain. And that's what I'm going to fight everybody as.
Wow, wow, wow. Fantim just got on the joke that we've all been doing for a few months, guys.
Oh, are you serious? Is this the thing? Well,
I mean, that was like literally one of the first things I did with Sub-Zero's purple skin when the game released.
I don't play Combat League, so I'm not actually going to do that.
It wasn't even a Combat League skin. That was the best part.
Oh, are you serious?
Yep. He did get another Edenian skin in the Combat League, but his original purple skin looked more like Rain than this new one did.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he had that. Yeah, I forgot he had a different purple skin. So the Edenian skin was like his third purple variation.
Pretty much, yeah. And even Noob Saibot had a skin which looked more like Rain than Sub-Zero's did, to be honest, with a veil, which so far it seems Rain has not really received, which is very weird to me. But I'm still hoping for one. We haven't seen all the gear. Other than that, a couple other updates. One, this is something we've spoken about. Tyler, on one of the combat casts, said that he is one of the community managers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on.
This is something. I feel like he's listening. Tyler, if you're listening, hi.
So who are the other community managers?
Well, that's the thing. He didn't say.
Mortal Kombat 11 and Ed Boon.
I mean, that's what I would assume. Yeah, as well as all the YouTubers. No, I mean, it's good that he's actually made that clear for lack of a better word, I guess. But it's good that he said that. But I still do expect more communication. It's good to see that we have gotten a lot of communication lately because we have something releasing. But the whole point of us saying we want communication is for those moments where we don't know what's coming, you know? So let's hope things change. I really hope they do. I'm happy so far with the communication we've been receiving over this time. They've had some interesting methods of sharing info with us, which is great. Let's see how that continues after Ultimate. I'm worried that we'll go into a sort of lull again. I'm not asking for content, just communication, you know? But they did sort of explain the upgrade with the new consoles, with the new PlayStation and with the new Xbox.
Yeah, I've been curious about that.
Okay, great. Then for you, all who don't know what's happening, what they said was, as long as you're signed into the PlayStation with the same PlayStation ID, you will have your rewards, your character variations, your time crystals, anything purchased with time crystals, previous Tower of Time, and crypt progression will actually be carried over. What will not be carried over is your story progression, although your rewards through the story will.
Well, that's great, though. I mean, the story mode isn't essential. I mean, unless you just want any rewards that you get during the story mode.
Exactly. If you've experienced the story, you're happy, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would argue otherwise, to be honest. But yeah. The thing that does concern me, though, is that settings, files, and most importantly, stats on your combat card will not carry over.
Well, I don't understand why that's something that wouldn't carry over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, it must be a PlayStation thing because apparently with the Xbox, all of it carries over after you transfer your save over through the cloud or a USB.
Wait, what?
Yes.
The Xbox gets everything, but PlayStation is left out of the loop.
Which leaves me to believe that it's PlayStation, not NRS.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
that really sucks because, I mean, if I move forward to the PlayStation 5, all of my thousands of games with Noob Saibot are gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as in statistically. And that's a shame because I'd like to be able to compare my statistics over time since release. So that is a bit of a shame, in my opinion.
Yanni, are there any other new updates that are coming out?
Nope, I think that's everything. We should be getting everything in a few days. Very excited. I'm very curious to see the full-on patch notes. There's going to be a lot of changes here, and I'm very hyped actually. Not just for Rain, but for everything. It feels like MK11 is becoming fresh again. But I hope you enjoyed this Tarkatan Bitesize episode, guys. I know we've mentioned this. It's been a while. We've been very busy, but we're getting back to our normal schedule, hopefully, these days. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for your patience. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Let us know what you think of all the changes to, well, the game. It's going to be looking very different on Mortal Kombat 11's Ultimate's release. Let us know what you think. Hopefully your character gets buffed rather than nerfed. I'm hoping for Rain to be pretty strong and maybe for Fujin to get a few changes too. So let us know. Looking forward to bringing you further episodes very soon. Please like, follow, subscribe to stay up to date. Thank you very much.